The Boise State Public Radio app. News, music, and more.
Idaho Matters.
Morning Edition.
All things considered.
The Connector.
And more.
And more.
You can take us wherever you go and stay connected. Without it, you're missing out. Download it free.
You can also communicate using the Talk to Us tab.
The Boise State Public Radio app.
From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Samantha Wright, filling in for Gemma Gaudette, and this is Idaho Matters. April marks the beginning of Child Abuse Prevention Month. It's a time of year when communities come together to raise awareness and to lend support. For organizations like the Idaho Children's Trust Fund, this work lasts much longer than just a month. For nearly 40 years, the agency has been committed to prevention efforts, offering crucial resources to those in need, and now they're shining a spotlight on how we can get more involved and to help make a difference. Joining us now to tell us more are Roger Sherman, Executive Director of the Idaho Children's Trust Fund, and Kim Hemmert, Grants Manager and Strategic Planner with the fund. Welcome back to both of you.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks for having
good
us.
to be back.
Roger, for those who aren't familiar with the Trust Fund, tell us a bit more about the organization and what you do.
So the Idaho Children's Trust Fund is the state affiliate of Prevent Child Abuse America. And we are a state organization that works with organizations throughout the state who are providing services to families. We provide to support building strong families and strong communities, which is our mission to build strong families and strong communities to prevent child abuse and neglect before it occurs. So our focus is really on upstream work. We provide funding, training, technical assistance, and convene people around the state to develop best practices and to coordinate activities.
Kim, do we know how many children are impacted by child abuse and neglect in Idaho, or is this, just something we can't put a real number on?
Yeah, we know that there's about 9,500 kids that are affected by maltreatment. And we also know that 2/3 of those children are affected by neglect. So 2/3 of those 9,500 are neglect related.
And,
But I think, Sam, what you're asking too, though, is that some of those, those are the reported situations,
Right.
and, not all things are reported. I think we really know that sexual abuse, for example, is way underreported.
Right. Absolutely. Roger, tell us about this training program that you have. It's called Hope Conquers ACEs. What are ACEs, or is ACEs? What does it stand for?
So ACEs stand for Adverse Childhood Experiences, and those are abuse, neglect, and various household challenges, like everything from divorce to death of a parent. There are 10 different things that are measured. That's been done both in Idaho and it's been done throughout the country in surveys to recognize the impact of how adverse childhood experiences impact people throughout their lives, in that it's not just something that happens in a moment, but it affects people throughout their lives and has impact on both physical and behavioral health.
Right, because we know this kind of thing can affect people forever, all through their lives.
That's absolutely true, which is why it's so important that we start to focus on the things that we can do to build positive experiences, both in children's lives and then also in families' lives going forward, and that communities and families get together to provide the kind of supports and experiences that people need. And those don't have to be formal ones. They can be in the school, in the church, in the other places that people go, the recreation programs, all of them. All of those things can provide the kinds of supports that make it so that even someone who's experienced an adverse in ACE will also be able to heal from that and move forward. And more importantly, we move upstream and we prevent it in the first place.
Well, and you're trying to focus more on positive child experiences instead of those ACEs, right? How and why are you making that change?
Yeah, we for a long time we've focused on all the things that are wrong and that all the negative impacts that it has. And there's a lot of new science and research that's coming out around when we build and promote these positive experiences, they are correlated with positive outcomes as adults. So we have better positive mental health, we have better positive behavioral health, we have better long-term health outcomes when we embed these positive experiences in these childhood experiences. So the focus really is on not just admiring the problem of what's wrong and what's going wrong, but how can we make more positive experiences in the face of adversity so that we can have these long-term positive outcomes, because that's what we're seeing is when we have these positive childhood experiences, we have positive outcomes as adults.
Well, and let's talk about how you're doing that. You're providing support to families, training, family resource centers. Tell us a bit about these.
So there are family resource centers are kind of a new thing for Idaho, but not new around the country. We have we have four that are startups right now. One in McCall, one in Boise, one in Nampa at the Hispanic Community Center, and a mobile family resource center that runs out of Idaho Falls, but works throughout that whole Upper Snake region. So there's a lot of work going on to provide resources and supports to families in places where they are. So some of these things that can be done in schools or in community and neighborhood, or in the case of the mobile, anywhere where people are. So you can go to a place like Du Bois, Idaho, or whatever. Just name some of our rural towns. And then people can receive that without the kind of stigma that sometimes attaches to going to a social service agency or other places, but really that those resources are available where you live. We see it in, we're seeing, also the opportunities with the community schools, which we're also supporting around the state. And now there are 65 of those. Those community schools really provide wraparound services, both for kids and families in their communities. Most of them are located in elementary schools, and therefore they're right where, often right where people live, right in their neighborhoods.
Kim, I understand, we're just starting the month, but you've got a lot of special events coming up. What is on the way?
Yeah, that's a great question. So hopefully we have heightened awareness of the pinwheel. You'll see a lot of pinwheels throughout the state. The pinwheel is the national symbol for child abuse prevention, and we're shifting again the narrative to strengthening families. So we're calling it Strengthening Families Month to prevent child abuse and neglect. Having a strong family and a strong community is something that we can all get behind, and that we want everyone in every community to know that they have a part of. So looking for those pinwheels, we have signs, posters, put-in cups that can be clipped in on fences. So if schools want to get involved or anywhere that has a chain link fence, we can see those put-in cups. We have T-shirts, pins. We have some really great big, huge banners that we're going to see around the state, courtesy of a sponsorship through McIlvaine Companies, which we're really grateful for their investment in families and communities. Some of the events that we have going on around the state this afternoon, actually, we're kicking off an event in South Meridian at the Tomlinson YMCA, and that event is open to the public and to the community from 4 to 7. In Nampa, they have their superhero walk on Saturday the 5th at 3 p.m. Same in Twin Falls. They have their kickoff event April 5th starting at 11 o'clock. And up in Lewiston, the Lewiston Library is hosting their kickoff event this Thursday from 4 to 6:30. There's more information on the Idaho Children's Trust Fund website. There's a whole calendar of all the list of events that are happening around the state. So keep an eye out for more things to come, and we want everyone to get involved.
Well, this has been great. We've been speaking with Roger Sherman, Executive Director of the Idaho Children's Trust Fund, and Kim Hemmert, Grants Manager and Strategic Planner with the fund, about Child Abuse Prevention Month. I'm Samantha Wright, filling in for Gemma Gaudette. It's Idaho Matters.
This is the Idaho Matters podcast. I'm Gemma Gaudette.